I think my dad is a pedophile and I am just terrified of allowing him contact to my son. Okay, so I'm a 23-year-old male. I have two brothers who are older than me. We were all born via surrogacy with egg donors that we have no way of finding. I've tried doing those DNA things but had no luck. Though that's not really relevant. My dad raised me and my brothers as naturists. We had a rule that clothing was not allowed in our house at all. The moment we would come in from school we would be required to strip before in the porch before entering the main part of the house. It wasn't until I was about 13-14 years old that this started bothering me. I asked my dad if I could just stay in my pants around the house and we ended up having a huge argument about it. But in the end I gave up and just did as I was told. This rule still applies if I ever visit him. Which is why I haven't gone to his house in almost 3 years. Around this time we were taken out of public schooling and moved to homeschooling. My dad would leave porn DVDs all over the house and encouraged me and my brothers to watch them. I vividly remember being as young as 6-7 and watching a hardcore gay porn video where this man was caught shoplifting and so the owner stripped him, tied him up and started pouring hot candle wax on him. It terrified me as a boy. He would also have videos of him having sex with other adults burnt on DVDs and those would just be out for us to watch also. My dad was also a heavy drug user. Any drug you can think of he would do. When I was about 11 I remember him doing acid with my brothers who would have been 13 and 15 at the time. He wanted me to do it also but I was too scared to try it. I still have never even drank alcohol, never mind any drugs. But after refusing drugs my dad would lock me in the spare room by myself while him and my brothers did them together. To my knowledge, my dad never touched me or my brothers. I moved out as soon as I turned 18. I went to a completely different part of the country and have barely kept in contact with my dad or my brothers. When I moved out my two older brothers were still living with my dad. My dad somehow found out that my wife has given birth. I'm not sure how but I managed to keep it secret from my family for the last year. He called me yesterday and asked me if he could come and visit me and my son. I just froze. I told him that we were visiting my wife's parents and so I would arrange a visit for him when we're back. But then I blocked him on everything. I don't want to see him. I don't know what to do. Your father is quite obviously fucked in the head. From what I'm reading, my opinion is that your child does not need to know who his grandpa is or what he did until he is old enough to understand. Going to be really honest here. My sister's husband made his children be nudist and he is a pedo. It's just weird. He had porn lying around as well. It's just strange. Trust your gut. Good luck in life, wishing you the best. Your dad is a predator and a fucked up person. He was abusive to you and your brothers. Remain no contact with him. It's in your family's best interest. I am glad that you were able to recognize, despite being brought up like this, that it is not normal. Keep that man away from your child. Man, that's some heavy stuff. Like really fucked up. It sounds like you were very brave to resist him and to leave at 18. And you're 100% right to protect yourself and your family from him. You definitely shouldn't let him anywhere near your son. Yeah, I would definitely not let this person see your family. Especially not your son. I'm so sorry you went through all of that. It is not okay at all. Everyone has already said everything I would have said. But just wanted to acknowledge how fucked up that was. And give you props for getting away. Stay away. I've known several naturists, nudists, and the whole point is comfort in your own space. Not forced nudity. Especially not forced as a child. Another commenter described it perfectly in saying he's fucked in the head and I would not let him anywhere near anyone I know. This sounds like covert incest and it is sex abuse. Even if he never laid a hand on you. I'm sorry. Keep your kid a zillion miles away or he'll show him porn too. Can't recommend therapy with a trauma-informed therapist enough. Stay far away from your dad. He obviously is a complete weirdo at best and pedo at worst. Please don't think your father's behavior will change. The person you left behind is the person he still is. Don't entertain allowing him to meet your son or wife. He is toxic. Well done for getting out of there. Even if he isn't child predator, I would not allow him in your life near your family. He sounds like a dangerous person. Not to mention a huge fucking creep. Is there any way you can go file a restraining order against him and or disown yourself? I suggest going to our legal advice and asking how to go about this so you can secure that you and your family are safe. Edit had to reread the post exposing children to pornography of any kind is sexual abuse. Your dad is a sexual predator and does not need to be around children. Regardless if he touched you or not, his behavior is sexually abusive. You did the right thing. You might want to contact a lawyer and see about getting a restraining order against him in case he shows up uninvited and unannounced. Just because he did not physically molest you, he did psychologically abuse you, and that is reason enough to keep your distance. You blocked him. That's a good decision. If I am not wrong, you can file a complaint against him for abuse. But I'm not sure how it would go. But filing a complaint on him will at least let him know in a hard way that you're never letting him near you or your family. Edit IDK why they decided to delete the post. But I hope the op found a solution and will do something about the issue immediately. I'm sorry you went through all of that. Drugs and alcohol make people do crazy weird things. Your dad is not normal at all and he should be reported to the police. You need to protect your baby. Please do not subject your son to your dad's toxic and creepy behavior. Break the cycle. As someone who was molested as a child, I'm going to say this with complete seriousness: don't let him near your child. Ever. That he didn't touch you or your brothers that you remember doesn't mean he won't touch your child. They always reach a point in their lives where they no longer care for appearances or morals. Don't let this moment be with your child. Don't allow him around your children. Don't allow any unsupervised contact. He clearly has no boundaries when it comes to children's bodies or respecting their autonomy. Keep him away from your wife and her family if you can. Because of his lack of boundaries. Your childhood was not okay, you know that. Do not let that creep around your kid. You have done nothing wrong. Trust your gut. Someone mentioned seeking a professional therapist or counselor. This is also a solid idea. Be the best father you can be. Give your kids the father you wish you had. Whether or not your father ever sexually abused you physically. Encouraging children to watch porn is sexual abuse. You are absolutely in the right to keep your dad out of your kid's life and, quite honestly, wouldn't be wrong to cut him out of your life as well. This is awful. I'm so sorry. Keep that man blocked and never contact him. You are allowed to protect your family. You are allowed to cut him off. You have lived without him and are self-sufficient. You recognize that he is dangerous and you're doing the right thing. Keep him away. It doesn't sound like there is anything your son is going to gain from having your dad as his life. Now that you're a father yourself, protecting your son's future children from someone as messed up as your dad is what matters here. Not protecting your dad's feelings. Please choose your son's safety and safe childhood over your dad's wish to meet your son. Don't fucking let him around your kids? Very sorry you went through that. Turn around. Walk away. End of story. Yeah, if this is true, that's probably a police call. Damn.